3:30 in the morning. I woke up about 2:30, so it seems like an hour's gone by of me sort of trying to go back to sleep. Shortly after I woke up, I was ruminating about my doctor's appointment and also ruminating about my sort of impending universal credit assessment as well, and not very nice thoughts or clear thoughts about it, but a lot of it was to do with perhaps not doing myself justice with answering questions and not revealing the true extent of how my day-to-day is, or not being seen in the assessment for how my day-to-day is, being caught out by questions that don't give me the opportunity to explain difficulty, and it's a bit of a fear and overwhelm and stress and even, I dare say, trauma of being assessed and health. So lots of things to perhaps prevent me from going back to sleep, and to be honest, I think even without those ruminations I'd probably be struggling to go back to sleep anyway, just because of how my sleep is at the moment. Usually I've been waking up at 4 something according to Siri, and when I asked Siri earlier, don't know if I should use the word tonight or this morning, she said it was 2:30 or something along around that time. So I thought it was better for me to try and get up and do something. But I think sleep hygiene says do something sort of low stimulating, and I think this is okay, I think, just to kind of talk about it. And I thought about maybe doing a little bit of reading as well, to see if that can make me tired again. I did get to bed at a good time. I was in bed, I think before 11:15, so kind of my sort of target time of around 10:30. That was a good roundabout time for me to get to bed last night. Be watching a lot of Louis Theroux's documentaries. Some of his recent ones I hadn't been watching, and sometimes the subject matter can be triggering because it can be quite intense and difficult sort of subjects that are tackled. That's what I've been doing the large part of the last couple of days, just especially when I'm having something to eat. It's just putting on one of those I thought about watching something now, but maybe it's best to do something that's not so to do with screens. Even though I'm recording this, my brightness has been lowered, so hopefully it doesn't affect the video. I don't think it will, but it seems fairly dim on the screen, so that's not sure what else to really say, but maybe part of me is a little bit worried about my sleep, because there's this thought about how a lot of the body's repairs happen in sleep, and I think how having bad sleep chronically or for a long time, it can affect kind of health later on in life, and so there's a bit of worry about that, physical and mental health. I think especially it can affect mental health when a good amount of sleep, maybe like repairs in the brain as well. It's very good for me to try not to dwell on it too much, because it'll just get me more maybe anxious and stressed about that. But maybe I'm a little bit upset or frustrated as well that that the assessment is already taking a toll on my health, and it hasn't happened yet. Sort of the impendingness of it, and I think doing it as well will also take a toll on my health, and it's just it feels really bizarre to. Of course, it's part of being in the system where certain things need to be done. But ideally, if someone was to look at my health now, then I would really hope they would say, no, you don't need to do an assessment. It makes no sense to put yourself through that when it's. But of course, they've got to go through. They're not watching these or understanding my day to day. So, but it's just a funny or bizarre thing where it's trying to get help, but the help is taking a toll on my health. And I'm getting help because of my health is challenging. So it's almost going through something that makes me worse, but trying to get help from it. And so far it hasn't really happened as much in a permanent sense of understanding. It's funny. I was watching one of the episodes I was watching last night was, I think it's called Reason by Insanity. So people have committed crimes, but they've been ruled as insane, I guess. But I was just questioning, because a lot of them seemed really functional, and it was a bit upsetting with me, because these are people who have got very severe mental illnesses, and just my perception was that they appeared more functional than me. Which is probably not the full truth, because a documentary can only expose a certain amount of their life. So whatever's put together, it's not a false, but it's not obviously a true 360 of their life and how they cope and deal with stuff. But just from what I saw, it was, and maybe it's unfair to have that perception of my health, and because it's two different health, my challenge is different to what I was seeing. So it feels like it's two different things a little bit, or two different challenges, I guess, as well. Not sure really what to do now. Strange, because I think early times of when I've woken up very early, I've still felt quite tired, but I feel fairly awake. Maybe because of perhaps the thoughts I've been ruminating about. It's kind of jolted me awake. Yeah, I'm worried about sort of the effects for tomorrow now as well, where I had this like big disturbance in sleep, and I'm really struggling with the little sleep I get, or disturbed sleep I get. And yeah, maybe I can just see how I get on with the reading, perhaps. And take it from there. Or I do have the audiobook as well. I forgot about that. that's another thing I could sort of listen to in bed to get myself tired. I can also listen to ASMR, but sometimes I find it just the effort to load up a video and find something that I want to watch can put me off sometimes. But maybe the audiobook might be a good option. Maybe we could do a bit of the old physical reading, the old Grisham book I've got, and then maybe the audiobook. Let's give that a go. I thought I'd maybe checking in here and perhaps the desire to want to share the difficulties of tonight. Maybe that would help me sort of help me with those thoughts, just to voice them out. I didn't early this evening, I guess, which is weird to say. I haven't still written anything down for what I want to talk about in my counselling session in several hours' time, but maybe I won't be too hard on myself about that. Perhaps I can keep it in my mind for later in the morning. If I do have a spare 10 minutes, I can try and maybe just think about anything important I want to bring up and talk through. It's a good sign, isn't it? Having a yawn. So maybe I'm on the right track of getting back to sleep at some point tonight. Yeah, so let's give the reading and audiobook a go, and let's hope for some sleep.